Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. Welcome to Elder Care is the New Child Care, the Working Elder Caregiver Problem and the GDGC Solution. Talk, tools and advice for working caregivers. To start, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our firm. Genser, Dubow, Genser, Cona is recognized as a leading elder law firm on Long Island. We're located in Melville and recognized for our creative advocacy and cutting-edge strategies. And you can read a little bit more about the firm on this slide here. And a little bit about myself. I am a partner at Genser, Dubow, Genser, Cona. I manage the Government Benefits Department, and I concentrate my practice in Medicaid eligibility planning, asset protection planning, disability matters, guardianship, estate planning, and veterans benefits. Elder care is the new child care. Over 65 million Americans, 29% of all U.S. households, provide care for an adult family member. And this care can range anywhere from checking in on them, providing meals, to preparing medication boxes, managing home health aides, or taking physical care of them themselves. Elder caregiving costs employers $33.6 billion annually in lost productivity. Absenteeism costs the U.S. economy an estimated $25.2 billion per year. So how does elder caregiving really affect employers this much? Well, when an employee is an elder caregiver taking care of an aging loved one, they're spending a lot of time away from the office. They're spending a lot of their office time on the phone, making phone calls, checking in on their aging loved one, checking in with the aide, perhaps making doctor's appointments, or leaving early to go to doctor's appointments with their aging loved one. So all of that affects employers and affects the bottom line of the corporation. The National Alliance for Caregiving and AARP report that 66% of elder caregivers make work adjustments. And these work adjustments include arriving late and leaving early, taking time off, cutting back on work hours, changing jobs completely, or stopping work entirely. 1 in 5 elder caregivers has had to take a leave of absence. As an elder law and estate planning attorney, every single consultation that I am in and I talk to the adult child or the caretaker, the conversation always comes to their job. They're going to lose their job. They're going to have to take more time off from work. It comes up every single day, and there's a real need for education and information. 84% of elder caregivers, as a matter of fact, state that they need more information and help on elder caregiving topics. It is the job of the manager and HR professional to get the best work out of their employees. This includes keeping employees motivated and happy so they will continue to contribute to the organization for the long term. Turnover and downtime not only affect the manager, small business owner, and HR professional, but greatly impact the organization's bottom line. Management equals achieving business results by focusing resources. In order to properly focus resources, you will need to constructively address employees' personal problems. One of these problems, of course, is elder caregiving. The majority of people are either presently elder caregivers taking care of an aging parent, grandparent, aunt or uncle, any loved one, or they will be if they're not at this point in time. Elder caregivers typically handle things like medical issues and decisions, bill paying, coordination of care, family disputes, all while juggling work responsibilities. As far as medical issues and decisions, this can involve going to doctor's appointments with the parent. It can involve making decisions regarding medication, making decisions regarding surgeries, any sort of care that they're receiving. Bill paying, if the parent has their own home, then we're making sure that taxes are paid, we're making sure that cable bills are paid, and electric and heat, and everything else that their aging parent needs, and making sure their health insurance is paid. So a lot of responsibility for that, as well as their own bill paying for their own family. Coordination of care, that can consist of perhaps their aging loved one goes to a daycare program. Perhaps there is an aide that comes into the house or some sort of companion, and the individual, the working elder caregiver, must coordinate those times, make sure those people are scheduled. If they don't show up, make sure that there's a backup. So that is another huge responsibility. And of course, family disputes. Many times, even the most loving and bound together family can have major, major disputes when it comes to caretaking of an aging parent or grandparent. So the elder caregiver, the one who's really in charge of that person, could be in the middle of a huge family dispute of people telling them that they don't agree with the decisions that are being made, or they have issues with monies and how they're being spent. So all of that, while juggling their regular life and work responsibilities, can really take a toll on a working elder caregiver. The added pressures can create problems in the workplace. And although many warning signs go unchecked, business owners and HR professionals who understand these issues will be better prepared to manage them. The most common caregiving issues in the workplace, as reported by HR professionals through a SHRM survey, is coordinating and choosing elder care services, which includes hiring and interviewing home health aides, securing elder law services, financial services, and geriatric care managers. Emergency caregiving responsibilities, home health aides late or absent, there's an urgent doctor appointment, or transportation is needed. Hospitalizations, and choosing a nursing home or rehabilitation center. So these issues, which are extending into the workplace because the individual is having difficulty with them, can definitely be made much easier if they're educated properly. Employees often keep their personal matters out of the workplace. They may not tell an employer that they're taking care of their aging parent for fear that the employer may change their, have a different impression of them, or cause the employer to take work responsibilities away from them for fear that they might not be getting things done. It's important for the employer and HR professional to pay attention to warning signs, including changes in work habits and work product. It's come to our attention that working elder caregivers are becoming more comfortable with talking to HR professionals about elder caregiving than they were in the past, but there's still a great deal of working elder caregivers who don't want to discuss these problems in the workplace. So the only way you're going to know that something is going on is if you're really, keyed into their work product and their habits. Some signs that an employee may be an elder caregiver include sporadic attendance, so they're not in a lot because maybe there's some emergencies, maybe there's an aide that doesn't show up, things like that. Increase in personal telephone calls, again, checking in with an aide or making doctor's appointments or speaking to doctors on the phone. Lack of concentration and reduced productivity can all come from just having your mind on something else or being mentally and physically exhausted. Out of character emotional outbursts a lot of times stem from the fact that the child is dealing with a very emotional time. Their parent is deteriorating, or perhaps they're placing their parent in a nursing home. So a lot of the emotional stress can cause these kind of out of character outbursts. Arriving late and leaving early, again, could have something to do with a home health aide and the amount of time that the aide is in the home. Prolonged or frequent disappearances, many times those will have something to do with a telephone call on a cell phone. They had to leave the office, they didn't want anyone else to hear what they are saying, but they're maybe talking to a doctor or a caretaker or even their parents on the phone. Poor work quality, missed deadlines, again, lack of concentration, difficulty sleeping, a lot of stress, all of that is part of what elder caregivers can suffer from and can cause these problems in the workplace. And of course, use of unpaid time off when it's just come to the point where they've used up all of their vacation time or all of their sick time, and now they still need more time to be at home with their parent. they're going to use unpaid time off. So what to look for? Take a step back. Realize that caring for an elderly or disabled loved one can be one of the most difficult times in an adult child's life. And I think it's very difficult for anyone to really understand it unless they've been in that position themselves. So it's important to realize that elder caregivers are dealing with the stress of caregiving and the emotional trauma of watching their parent deteriorate. Employers and HR professionals must tread lightly when confronting employees about these issues. Some tips on handling employees who are elder caregivers. If these people are great workers, they're top talent, they're people that you want in your organization, you're going to want to accommodate their short-term needs. Perhaps they need to take a short leave of absence. Perhaps they need to take a few days off per week or a few hours off per day. Be flexible with their working hours and location. Maybe they need to work from home a couple of days a week because they don't have aid coverage every single day. Temporarily assign better suited work for that employee. For example, if the employee travels a lot, perhaps we can switch some job responsibilities with somebody else who can do the traveling for the time being, while the elder caregiver is at home working in the office but closer to home base. Stay in touch with the employee during the crisis. It's important for them to feel supported and to know that it's okay for them to talk about the issues. So being in touch with them, checking in, seeing how things are going. Refer employees to appropriate resources. Anything from a geriatric care manager to an elder law attorney to a financial advisor. There are so many resources out there, and there are so many companies that coordinate care and will help people through these times of crisis so they can remain present and productive at work. And then most importantly, when the crisis has passed, refocus the employee on the steps needed for success and career advancement. Again, if these are top players, major players, and top talent in your company, you're going to want to refocus them and get them back to where they were before this crisis happened. There's been some changes in the law recently. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission and New York Human Rights Law recognize caregivers as a protected class. And as of 2016, the definition of caregiver was expanded to include elder caregivers. It is more important than ever that you help your working elder caregivers and protect your organization's bottom line. The Family Medical Leave Act, as we all know, beginning January 1st, 2018, the New York State Paid Family Leave Program will provide New Yorkers job-protected paid leave to care for a close relative with a serious health condition, including nursing, hospital, and hospice care. The problem with this is that companies can lose their top talent for up to 8 weeks in 2018, going up to 12 weeks in 2021. Making sure that the employees are aware of all of the resources available that can help them with this type of care, that may alleviate the need or obviate the need for them to take this paid family medical leave. Again, it is more important than ever to help your working elder caregivers understand what this is all about, how it works, what's out there to help them, and how, again, they can stay present and productive at work and protect your organization's bottom line. It's time to talk about it. Tools and Advice for Working Caregivers is GDGC's Elder Care Employee Benefit Program, and it's designed to help working caregivers navigate the elder care landscape while remaining present and productive at work. Studies show that giving employees the tools they need to help care for their aging loved one reduces absenteeism, reduces downtime, reduces turnover, and promotes job security for the working elder caregiver. Talk can break the cycle. Mom's aide doesn't show up one morning. You're all dressed, you're ready to go to work, you're walking out the door, and the phone call comes in that the aide has not shown up. Well, HR allows the employee unpaid time to stay home with mom, unpaid time off. So the employee takes advantage of that, but is distracted and misses important deadlines. Then the employee struggles to catch up with work once they return to work, maybe after a day or two when they're able to get a new aid in place. All in all, the business's bottom line suffers. Our dedicated emergency elder care line can supply last-minute assistance for elder caregivers so they won't have to miss work. Member companies will have a host of benefits for elder caregiver employees as a one-stop resource. They will have immediate access to GGGC elder law attorneys, so in any sort of crisis or if there's a question, they can call our office and be connected to an elder law attorney immediately. There are on-site educational seminars, a preferred provider list, emergency elder care, and discounted legal services. The on-site seminars are designed to empower elder caregivers with knowledge and information to handle an elder care crisis or plan ahead to avoid a crisis. Both will ensure that your company will experience increased productivity and profitability by reducing absenteeism, downtime, and turnover. Some of the topics include caregiver support and resources, Medicaid eligibility, Medicaid nursing home benefits, Medicaid home care benefits, estate planning, probate and estate administration, and so on. The preferred provider list is a great addition to this program. It consists of pre-screened and vetted preferred providers that are trusted elder care industry professionals. Their information is available exclusively to the employees of member companies. So as part of the preferred provider list, we have home care agencies, financial advisors, Alzheimer's support, geriatric care managers, house call physicians. So when an elder caregiver is working on coordinating a plan to take care of mom or dad or their aging loved one, they can go to the preferred provider list and they can get their hands on the names of some really long-time professionals in the industry who have been vetted, who we have worked with for years, and who understand all of the issues and can help them with their plans for caregiving. The talk plans are tailored for your company's specific needs. Anything from a basic plan with an on-site elder care overview seminar, immediate access to the GGGC elder law attorneys, and 10% off the GGGC elder law and estate planning legal fees for all employees, to the Platinum Plan, which will include on-site elder care overview seminars, which will then customize topic sessions. We come back up to 12 times per year to talk about any specific items that somebody might have issues with. Also, immediate access to the GGGC elder law attorneys. This plan will include the emergency elder care, on-call and on-demand home health aid services via a dedicated 24-hour toll-free number, preferred provider list of vetted elder care industry professionals, and 10% off of legal fees. Each of your employees is an important part of your team. Don't let elder caregiving cause you to lose your top talent. Turnover, downtime, and recruiting not only affect the manager, small business owner, and HR representative, they negatively impact your company's bottom line. GGGC's Elder Care Employee Benefit Program can help you support and retain your talent, attract new talent with cutting-edge benefits, stop the productivity drain, and improve your organization's bottom line. These are some of our other practice areas, or our practice areas that we handle. It's time to talk about it. Thank you for joining us today.